Standing the wave line. No, babes. America is a third world country. America is a third world country. I've been back for 3 months.
So this is my new channel.
Why the birth rate is declining. I don't know, Susie, because most people my age, and I'm a millennial, I'm 38, and most people my age and younger, they don't feel like they can responsibly take care of themselves.
I just worked a 12-hour shift in the operating room, and I cannot afford my rent. I can't afford my rent. I can't afford gas. I can't afford groceries. I can't afford...
Our car insurance went from $298 to $540 a month. Our property taxes increased, and so that means our mortgage increased. Inflation is incredibly high. Grocery prices are incredibly high.
About the fall of white America, okay? White men, human traffic, black people from Africa made banks and wealth off this country, made banks, wealth, and institutions off of that, and they're the only people that can afford, stuff in this country. If you ran a race for 500 years and each lap was 1 year, that's 500 years of basically each time, like on Monopoly, 200 you pass go, they up on us, and they owe us reparations, because we the ones that built the track, okay?
A lot of Americans are starting to notice something very uncomfortable that they can't avoid anymore, and that's the fact that this country no longer looks like the America that they believed in growing up.
There's something wrong in this country telling people it is okay to work 3 jobs, not see your kids, not see your loved ones, not take a vacation, and God forbid you get sick.
So I work in the operating room, and I just worked a 12-hour shift in the operating room, and I cannot afford my rent. I can't afford my rent. I can't afford gas. I can't afford groceries. I can't afford any of my endless other bills that I am responsible for because I am an adult. After working a 12-hour shift in the operating room. So you know what I have to do? I have to DoorDash, and it's 12:30 at night after I've been on my feet in the operating room for 12 hours all day. I'm now out DoorDash driving.
In case you were curious what the housing market is like right now, my husband and I found a house that we absolutely loved, kind of a dream for us, on Thursday. We went and looked at it on Thursday. Put in an offer 10 grand over asking on Thursday. They had multiple offers already on Thursday. They decided, because they knew a bunch of people were going to be interested, to wait until Sunday, today, to do best and final offer, which means we had to put in our absolute best and final offer. We went up to 30 grand over asking, and we offered a $20,000 appraisal gap, which is if the house gets appraised for less than what you offered, you have to cover that gap with cash at the closing table. So we offered that. We also, in our offer, said that we're going to do inspections, but we're not going to ask them for any concessions or repairs. So if anything came back bad, they didn't have to fix it. Also, 3-week close. We didn't even stand a chance. We lost. They had 9 offers. 9 offers. Somebody offered, I think, 40 or 50 grand over asking with a full appraisal gap, which means 40 or 50 grand. Like, I just actually want to die because now I'm depressed, and it was my dream house. And now someone else gets to have my dream house because I'm too poor.
15-ish years ago, I was able to afford a 1-bedroom luxury apartment off a $50,000 a year salary. I was just having a conversation with someone that worked for me a couple years ago, and she's signing her first job offer, making $106,000 a year right out of college. She, I don't believe, has student loan debt. Obviously, inner city is going to be more expensive. My apartment was in the suburbs of Boston. However, she cannot find a place to rent within reason without having at least 2 roommates. $106,000 with very financially responsible person. And it's wild when I have conversations with those that are in their 60s and 70s and truly don't understand the cost of living and why the birth rate is declining. I don't know, Susie, because most people my age, and I'm a millennial, I'm 38, and most people my age and younger, they don't feel like they can responsibly take care of themselves. And so you want people to be responsible, because a lot of my friends with young kids, they have to have 2 salaries to afford life, but their child care is the cost of their mortgage, if not more. And they bought homes at like a good time too. Like they have a really good interest rate. Like their mortgage isn't unaffordable as much as a lot of mortgages are now, but their childcare is their mortgage. So they're like owning 2 homes to have children, to be able to stay in the workforce so they can just afford life. That's why.
Affordable it is to be in the US. I'm seeing all these videos. I would just like to say that it is 100% some kind of game, because I would buy the exact same L'Oreal shampoo and conditioner, the Revive, like super gloss, exact same one for €6 in Spain. And it is $12 to $15 here a piece. €6, $15. Same thing. Same exact thing. What? And the math on that is €6, it's $7. For it to be the same price would be $7 here. And I just bought shampoo and conditioner, and it was, I think, like 14 something for each. So $30 to get shampoo and conditioner. Just we're getting screwed.
The biggest recession indicator to me is that folks can't even afford to live in trailers anymore. Don't remember when that used to be for poor folks? Like, you used to get bullied if kids found out that you lived in a trailer. Don't let them find that shit out. They're gonna call you poor, trailer trash, all types of shit. Nowadays, that's the American dream. It's like, God, maybe one day I'll be able to afford a trailer. Maybe if I just pick myself up by my bootstrap and I work real hard, maybe I'll be able to afford a single wide. We have lost the plot entirely. I was on Facebook Marketplace. They wanted $50,000 for a 1980 single wide in a trailer park, plus $800 a month lot rent. Are you smoking? What? It gets to a point, like, ain't no way. Same thing if you, like, go to the people that build them. Like, if you want a brand new single wide, I went to Clayton Homes just to get a look around. Some of them single wides was going for $90,000. Oh, and that's just a single wide. Like, that's not including the land, the permits, the hookup, all that shit. What are we doing? No, seriously, what are we doing? I can't even afford to buy a single wide trailer. What's lower than low class? Because that's me. And I'm not talking shit about trailers because I'm currently renting a double wide. But I was looking into buying. I can't afford that shit. What are we gonna do, y'all? I don't know.
I have seen video after video after video talking about people talking about going into foreclosure, eviction notices, living paycheck to paycheck, and same. Yep, we are living paycheck to paycheck. And I got to thinking, I remember 14 years ago when my daughter was born, I had no money, pretty much. I mean, I was working as a waitress, I was young, I was a freshman in college, thinking if I made this much money, I would be living stress-free. I do make that much money now. In fact, I make more money than that. I make good money. My husband makes good money. And we are living paycheck to paycheck. Just over the last 5 years, our car insurance has doubled, almost tripled, and no, we don't have any new tickets, no car accidents, nothing. Our phone bill has doubled, and I've paid off pretty much all of our phones. Still keeps going up. Our mortgage has gone up $600, $700 since we bought our house 5 years ago, just from an increase in homeowners insurance and property taxes. Our medical insurance has gone up, more money is being taken out of our paychecks or whatever. Grocery bills, can't even fathom how much more it's gone up, at least $600 a month. Like, this blows my mind. Like, we worked our way from the bottom to have like these really nice careers, thinking like, oh, this is it, like we finally made it, and we are still living paycheck to paycheck, like, and barely making it, literally stressing out about finances all the time. If this was 20 years ago, we probably would have been considered upper class, or I know we would have been considered upper class, and now we are literally barely hanging on. Like, it blows my mind, and I don't understand how this is okay in any way. And all I can picture is like these billionaires sitting up in their like little offices and just like laughing about how poor we are. I don't know. I'm so mad and frustrated, and after seeing so many videos of people losing their houses and apartments and cars, and like, how is this okay? How is this okay? And the government, everyone's just like, yeah, it's cool. Well, we're millionaires. It's fine.
I think you guys are going to be ready for me to tell you how much I just spent on groceries and show you what I got. I spent, here, wait, let me show you what I got, okay? Sour cream, salsa, cheddar cheese, turkey bacon, taco shells, 2 bags of tortilla chips, because they were like, buy one get one 50% off, okay? So there's some deals in here. 2 things of salsa packets, these are like $1 each. Sourdough bread, tortillas, a frozen thing of riced cauliflower, baby spinach, and kind protein bars, okay? This is it right here. Let me flip the camera around. This is what I bought. Right here. Okay? This is it. This is it. This cost me $75. Oh, and I had $2 off because I'm a frequent shopper. Yep.
You know what's crazy? I'm paying $2,300 to live in my house that I own with my husband a month. And we just got a letter saying that we, starting November 1st, are gonna owe $330 more a month because of property taxes. So for our almost 1,800 square foot house, we're gonna be owing $2,600 a month. It's absolutely insane.
I don't know where to go anymore. I have no home. I have no home. I don't even know where to go anymore. All I keep doing is driving back and forth on highways. We spend all our time in the car. I can't even cook for him anymore because it's getting colder outside. I try to do my best, but where am I going? Where am I going? I'm either driving to a friend's cabin, which is 3 hours away, or I'm driving to a campground, which is $38 a night and has a shower. Either way, I'm spending money. Inconvenience. This is inconvenience. They evicted me. I was just starting a new business. Hoping to build a financial future, and now all that debt I'm carrying with me too. Crazy. City of St. John's.
We are living in a retirement nightmare right now with so many people facing homelessness. You know, when I grew up, seeing your parents, and then for me working decades, you think retirement is a time of peace and quiet. You're rewarded for all your hard work. And for so many, it has become a complete nightmare. It's not like that anymore, unfortunately. There are so many people right now that are one rent, one medical bill, and one bad month of being homeless out on the streets. That's very sad. But that, unfortunately, is the reality that we are living in right now. I grew up believing that after working really hard for years, and everything would be fine. You know, you're putting into your 401k. You know, if you're fortunate enough to have a 401k, I worked for only one company that had a 401k, so I really didn't have a whole lot in a 401k. I was fortunate enough to have a pension, not a large one by any means, but I just saved for my retirement. That's what I had to do. So that's what we're thinking, that everything was great. You know, a lot of people get that when you retire, people are taking all these beautiful vacations and they're walking through the sand on a beach with their margaritas. For the most part, most people aren't doing that. Most people wish they could do that, but most people are not doing that. And so many people right now are having a hard time with the housing costs, the groceries, the insurance. we're being taxed to death. So you're going to see people that are not always going to tell you how bad they're struggling. I get it. They're proud. I get that. They're embarrassed as to where they're at in life. They're going to feel like they failed. They didn't do enough to prepare themselves. I didn't always do enough to prepare myself. But you're going to find people sleeping in cars. You're going to find people staying with other family members or going from place to place. Can you imagine being in your 60s and 70s and you're not sure if you're going to have a home to go home to next month? I can't imagine that. I am very blessed that I have a home, and maybe I bought at the right time. I don't know, but it's affordable. I feel thankful that I'm where I'm at, but I feel so bad for some of these people that are one rent away from losing everything. I get that. But I've never been in their shoes. So, but I don't want people to blame themselves because it's not your fault. The system isn't built to protect us in today's world. It's just not.
I just want to know if anybody else's insurance is as crazy as mine is. I just got my renewal for the coming year, and my auto policy is up another $500, and my homeowner's is up $800. I'm just supposed to magically find an extra $1,300 laying around? This is really freaking ridiculous. Like, how are people living anymore?
So here's a situation that my family and I are in. My husband is a government employee and he works for the state police. He also owns his own computer business and he gets about 15 hours a week. He also bartends when it's available, but right now in our town, the bar is very dead. It's not busy like it is in the summer times. I stay home with our 3 children because daycare is $1,000 a month for 3 kids. So my husband at the police, before taxes are taken out, makes $3,600 a month. We paid for daycare. That would be more than what he makes at the police. I cannot find a job that would cover that kind of financial burden. I just made a grocery pickup order and we do get EBT. We get $119 a month. And so we use the last little bit of EBT that we have to pay for the food that will probably last our family for the next week. On top of that, our car insurance went from $298 to $540 a month. Our property taxes increased, and so that means our mortgage increased. Inflation is incredibly high. Grocery prices are incredibly high. And gas prices are incredibly high. I texted him today and I said, I don't know how we are going to pay our insurance, which is $540 a month. I don't know how we are going to pay for our phone bill because that is $300 a month and we do not have brand new phones. We do not have a payment plan. That's just how expensive it is to have two phone lines at AT&T. Our electric bill is $220 also due at the end of the month. And right now we have $230 in our checking account. And what we needed for food was not covered fully by UET, so I had to pay $89 out of pocket to get the rest of the food that we need. This can only last us about a week and a half. My husband works 3 jobs. I stay home to prevent daycare costs because I would be working to pay somebody else to take care of our children. This is the America that we live in. My husband's a government employee and only makes $42,000 a year. And I don't know where you live, but that's a really hard living to live on. So before you say that people sit on their ass and you have to pay for it, just remember you're only getting about $36 a year taken out of your check for somebody to receive EBT. And we're not making it. Not even a little bit.
Should I rant about San Diego for a second? I was raised here for a majority of my life. My entire family lives here, lived here for generations. And the way that locals are getting priced out is just something that needs to really be talked about more on a very serious level. It is just absolutely insane, the price of everything now and how much higher it has gone and how much the quality has gone down. Like, everything. Don't even get me started on SDG&E. SDG&E and I have beef. Tell me why my delivery fee is the same price, if not more, than what my electric generation is. And I don't have AC. Like, I really don't use a lot of electricity at all. Why is my bill almost $400 every month? I don't know. I had someone come out here and look, and guess what? They charged me to have someone come out here and look. They found nothing. They're like, that's just normal. No, it's fucking not. Traffic. Why does traffic start at 2 p.m. and why does it go till 7? Good luck getting anywhere. It's like you're almost imprisoned in your house between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And then if you want to go out after that, you better wait till after traffic after 7 p.m. Going out to eat. Prices have skyrocketed. Absolutely skyrocketed, which I get, like, servers and stuff and like these businesses have to stay open, but it's gotten to the point where it's like I can't even go out and eat anymore. It's just so much money. And the quality has like significantly decreased. It's just like not even worth it at this point. Groceries here, absolutely ridiculous. And I like try and go to grocery outlet, or I try and go to Costco when I can and get what I can. But I mean, sometimes you have to just go to the Bonds or the Ralphs, and it's just ridiculous how much they're charging. And then don't get me started on like gas, $5 a gallon, absolutely ridiculous. Rent. I live in a house, I've lived here for almost 6 years, so I'm very grateful that I have this price that I've been paying for almost 6 years, which is like unheard of. But if I were to pay the price that I'm paying now, if I had to go move, I'd be living in a studio or a 1-bedroom apartment. It's just absolutely ridiculous how much everything is. And as I said, I grew up here. I know San Diego's always been expensive. Like, it's always been really pricey. I get that, but it's just to a point now where it's like you cannot sustain living here. My parents had a house in Escondido when I was growing up, and it was a very nice house. They were blue collar workers, both of them were. Tell me why the mortgage was less than what I'm paying now for my house. That is a third of the size in a way less nice area. Tell me why. Jobs now in San Diego, they still think that like, oh, you're living in San Diego, you'll take the pay cut to live here. Okay, and that's just not sustainable anymore. That's just not. Like, my boyfriend does blue collar work. Tell me why, if he was looking for a new job right now, he was seeing jobs starting at $20 to $23 an hour in San Diego. That needs like experience. Like, it wasn't just like starting, like that was like with jobs that need 5+ years experience. It is absolute insanity.
If you work in corporate, I hate to break it to you, but they don't care about you. I was laid off 2 days after I was given a $10,000 raise. And also I was working on this big project that we were soon to be launching. And also I was close with my boss. He told me, your job is safe. Nothing's going to happen to you. And it did. No matter what they tell you, no matter the amount of money they give you, they can let you go at any time. And it is a terrible thing that they can do that. I could never do that to somebody. Don't get me started on the friendships at work. Your friendships, people that I thought I was so close with, people that I've traveled with, people that I thought were some of my best friends, haven't even called to reach out, nothing. So don't put your blood, sweat, and tears into a company, into people that just aren't gonna care. They don't care.
Because I know it's all toxic. Any interaction I have, I'm like, oh my God, you just want something from me. The American men don't even get me started. The only thing that's beneficial about America is the opportunities here. You have more opportunities here, but you have to give your soul for those opportunities. You don't experience life or balance. No, you have to give your soul.
So who do you think she's talking about? You got to give your soul. And she's talking about American men are horrible. So that's what this channel's about. We're talking about, you know, basically what's going on in this country, how the grocery and rent prices and what's going on, and why they owe black people reparations for all the stuff I said in the beginning of this. You know, human trafficking us from Africa, making banks and wealth off of banks and wealth and stock markets and institutions off of us, and then giving other white people, only white men's families, you know, money and opportunities. Back then, it was going that, you know, the white women couldn't even vote. You know, white women wasn't beating us with whips. You ain't never seen no white woman beat a motherfucker with a whip or hang a man from a tree. Those are all white men. That was their rules under their rules. Just like how you got niggas killing each other today because of white men rules and you can get away with it, and you kill black men more than white. It's kind of the same thing. Yeah, you didn't see white women do weird shit. Yeah, but it's because of they rules though. They made the rules. They set them. They even enforce them and say you got to sell your soul and do what I say for you to enjoy America. So that's just basically what this whole channel is about. They even owe white women reparations for real. If you look at the Salem witch trials, they killed, what, 10 million white women over the course of like 500 years? Because they was hunting them down as witches and stuff like that. Look up the Salem witch trial. Look up Joan of Arc. That's just some game for some white women right there. But anyways, it's a Follow White America. You're going to see a whole lot of white women and people talking about what's going on. That's the intro to this channel. Peace. This is the one.
America has literally built a system where being poor is more expensive. And nobody talks about how backwards that is. Like, if you're already struggling, everything costs more. A bill you couldn't afford? Well, now you owe more. Miss a payment because you were trying to juggle rent and groceries? Well...
And you want to know why that is because they understand that you'll never be able to catch up 500 years of slavery, no matter who you are. Only a white man in America have that much money. And if you're not a white man in America that they really care about, you know what I mean? You'll end up like this dude.
Yeah, sure, my guy.
And I gotta say, as a United States veteran, it's absolutely horrible to see.
Okay? You'll end up like that. So they don't care. You know what I'm saying? So your smartest thing is probably to just move out the country or, you know, show whose side you on. That's all I'm going to say. You know what I mean? Shit. If you can't beat them, join them. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? You come with some, there that motherfucker go right there. He right there, y'all. Type shit. I mean, you better, you know what I mean? Get on the right side. I don't know. Figure it out. But they don't give a fuck about you. At least show what side you on. Prove it some sort of way. I don't know. Anyways, this is the Follow White America. This is the new channel. And we'll be reacting to channels like this.
How our government is taking care of our veterans. You served our country honorably.